Tsarist and Communist Russia, 1855 to 1917. Opposition. Moderate liberal opposition. This was made up of the intelligentsia who sought the truth via philosophical ideas. Nihilism, the belief that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known. Anarchism, the belief in self-governed institution. Westernizers. They wanted to catch up with the West and abandon Slavic traditions, adopting modern Western values. Ivan Sergeyevich Turgenev was a Westernizer. He was a Russian novelist and playwright who developed Westernizing ideas whilst traveling in Europe. His book Fathers and Sons addressed problems of contemporary Russian society. Slavophiles. They favored a superior Russian path to a better future, but believed Russia had a unique culture which needed to be preserved. Count Leo Tolstoy was a Slavophile who started in the army. He wrote whilst traveling and set up a school for peasant children. His book War and Peace was concerned with the meaning of life. In his later years, he advocated for simplicity and anti-violence. Radical opposition. Nikolai Chernyshevsky was the author of a radical journal called The Contemporary. He was also the author of a book called What Is to Be Done, whilst confined in the Peter and Paul fortress in St. Petersburg. He suggested that peasants had to be made leaders for revolutionary change. Aleksandr Herzen. He was the editor of the radical journal The Bell, which was produced abroad and smuggled into Russia legally. He advocated for new peasant-based social structure. Mikhail Bakunin. He was an anarchist and a socialist, and thought that private ownership of land should be replaced with collective ownership. He introduced Marxism into Russia by translating Marx's The Communist Manifesto. Sergei Nechayev. He was a student radical activist who fled from Russia after calling on students to assassinate the Tsar. And the book Catechism of a Revolutionary was published in Switzerland, which was smuggled into Russia. The Tchaikovsky Circle. Named after the most prominent member Nikolai Chernyshevsky, they were a literary society of printing, publishing and distributing the revolutionary literature. In 1872, they organized workers with the intention of sending them to work among countryside peasants. Narodnit populace. This was made up of the intelligentsia of 2,000 people. They wanted to convince peasants to join them, however they weren't really interested and a lot of arrests were made. Land and Liberty sought work within the peasants and some carried out political assassinations. This then split into Black Free Partition and the People's Will. Black Free Partition was anti-violent and wanted to share the black soils among peasants. The People's Will were violent and even planted a spy in the third section. They were the group that assassinated Alexander II.